Here is the Soviet army we'll be using for the battle. It's 24 dice here, but they're actually 26 because I can't count that well. Probably you've noticed that from before. So 2 units are going to respawn, which are going to be the anti-tank rifle and one of the guard squads. But I'll go through what we got. So we got 2 platoons here. And we'll start over here. So we'll start with that anti-tank rifle. It's regular. We've got a senior lieutenant. He's regular as well. We've got a captain and 2 of his buddies, regular, and another lieutenant here who is also regular with a PAL. We've got a light mortar, regular. The sniper is veteran. We've got a ZIS, which is regular. We've got a medium mortar, which is regular, and it's got a spotter. And the dog bomb guy here, he's gonna be the veteran medic. We're using a proxy. The front here, we've got the 12-man free unit with all the bells and whistles. In the back here, we've got a guard unit. It's got a Faust. In the back here too, we've got we've got another guard unit. He's got a Faust as well. And these guys here, this guard unit, they should have a Faust, but if they don't have a Faust, it's too bad for those guys. These guys, another guard unit, 10 men. Whatever they got, they got. All of these guys is the same thing. I mean, if they got an SMG, they got an SMG. If they got a rifle, they got a rifle, yeah? Here, this unit here, another 10-man unit. It's got an LMG, and I've endeavored to put a Faust and an LMG in every unit. The last infantry unit that we have here, these are the assault guys. They're pretty beast. We've got a flamethrower hidden in the back there, and we've got 2 LMGs as well, and I think they've got a Faust as well. So me playing the Germans, I'm going to keep my eyes on these guys. I've got 3 trucks. They're all regular for the Russians, and they're all going to have the Pintle mount LMG on the front. And we've got a veteran air observer, and there's the Stormovic 172nd. I got to fix that. I don't know if that's going to happen today. And we've got 3 tanks here. They're all veteran. We've got a JS2, KV1. This isn't the slow version, so it's not 100% armored all over the place, but it's got it's the 10 on the front, I guess 9 on the side, 8 in the back, and a T-34 as well. And then we've got, I think this is the BA-10, I think it's the BA-10. So this is a Soviet force. When one of the guard units dies and when the anti-tank rifle team dies, they'll be able to respawn. Or, you know, if it's a case of these guys aren't dead and these guys are dead, a 2-man team, we'll bring them back on. So that's what we're going to do. Let me show you the Germans. Here we go. Here we have the Germans. It's a 22 dice army, and I'll go through them really quickly and explain what they are, and then I'm going to get on to how we're going to play the game. So let's start over here. We'll start in the back. Let me get my little pointy stick here. Okay, in the very, very back, we've got a sniper team. They're going to be veteran. Next to them, we've got a Panzerschreck team. They're regular. We have the medics, which are going to also be veteran. The officers, we've got senior lieutenant, I guess. Senior lieutenant here with an extra guy and a captain with an extra guy. They're all regular as well. All of the infantry, with the exception of 1, are all inexperienced. These are my Volksgrenadier nuns. They have 1 Faust and an LMG, which is there. The priest over here, he's the NCO. I've got the inexperienced Volkssturm in the back. And it's basically, again, it's what you see is what you get. So I think there's an SMG in there and a couple, like 3 or 4 Faust. Same thing here. These guys, I'm using the Kriegsmarine, but they are the Luftwaffe Field Division. Again, I think they've got 2 Fausts, a couple of SMGs, and an LMG. Again, here we have the Kriegsmarine. In the back here, this is the veteran unit. This is the SS Charlemagne guys. Behind them, we have a regular medium mortar with a spotter. We have an inexperienced 88. I'm going to get back to that later. There's a special rule for that one. We've got a 7-man Hitler Youth unit. We've got a veteran MMG, which is kind of weird. The figure there, I should say. Regular motorbike with sidecar, Kubelwagen. 2 trucks. Both of them have the LMG on the top. We've got a regular Hanomag and a regular King Tiger 2. And here we have the crew. So when this gets knocked out, if it gets knocked out, these guys are going to bail out and they're going to take over the dice. It's just a little bit of a narrative thing we're going to do. And a light artillery piece. Getting back to the 88, they're inexperienced, so this is going to actually be a piece of scenery. It's going to be static. And we've decided that if they get killed or they're, you know, whether they're shot or taken out in hand-to-hand, any unit with 5 or more men can take over the gun, and they'll count as inexperienced. But if they roll a 1 to fire or to hit or whatever, they've loaded the shell the wrong way, and they'll take a medium howitzer shot. So this is going to be a piece that we can battle over, things like that. So that's the army here. I worked out the points. It came out to about 2,200 or so, 2,300, somewhere in there. I didn't really count all the stuff that I had on the guys. But what we're going to do, because there's so many dice, we've got 2 platoons, what we're going to do is we're going to draw cards. So there are going to be 11 black cards, and there are going to be 12 red cards. And basically we're going to pull a card, and then we're going to, each side is going to play 2 dice. It doesn't matter which dice or who's doing it or whatever, so it's going to be me against my mate and his brother. So they'll probably each play a dice, and I'll play 2 dice. So that's how we're going to run the game. And like I said about the Soviets, they're going to be able to sort of respawn a guard unit and maybe one of their special weapons teams. So yeah, these are the Germans. They're going to be defending the suburbs of Berlin. So yeah, we're going to set up the board here, and I'll explain about that too. About to start. So we've done the deployment. What we've done is we've got half the units on the board. This is the German deployment here. We got some guys here. We got the flag, 88. I got a Kubelwagen with some guys in there, mortar, etc. Hitler Youth are in the ruins of the brewery. The Soviets are across the table. They're entering from the east. Lots of guys, lots and lots of guys. A lot of guys hanging out at the post office. All that wonderful stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. The Soviets get a preparatory bombardment on anything but a 1. So go ahead, roll it, guys, wherever you want. In the center there, let's see. 6, it's coming in, so we'll see what happens afterwards. Okay, we've done it. Basically, the Hitler Youth guys here, they got 1 pin. The officers got none. The mortar got 1. The light mortar got 2. I don't know if you can see that, 2. The Kubelwagen, the guys inside got 1. The snipers up in the second floor of this building got 1. This is also my aid station, so I've got 6 inches around here where I can give guys medical care if they get hit by bullets. The 88 got 1, and the Luftwaffe guys got 1. Of course, the Soviets, they're sitting pretty. They're getting ready to do their assault. So we're going to start. What we're doing, though, because we have so many dice, is that we're going to pull a card. If it's a black card, the German's going to move 2 dice. And if it's a red card, the Russian's going to move 2 dice. And then this turn 1 is these guys, and then all of the other units that are left, they're going to come on in reserve or outflanking in turns 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. So here we go. Let's see who's going first. It is the Russians. Let's see how. Let's start turn 1. Here we go. Okay, turn 1 is done, and I lost my light mortar. These guys are still in ambush. I got to put the dice back. So my dudes moved up. I got Arnold and the Panzerschrecker in that building. His guys are coming across the road. He's got his light mortar there, his air observer. These guys have moved up. We got an anti-tank rifle team over there. Sniper's up here. He took a shot at this guy, and he put an extra pin. So these guys, they failed their order test, which kind of sucks. Move the officer and the Hitler Youth guys up here. He backed his T-34 up. He's got some guys moving up here, his officers and things like that. So we're going to be going into turn 2 now. And all the reserves are going to come on. So it's going to probably get really nasty here. So let's flip this to turn 2. Nothing super exciting happened in turn 1. But let's see how it goes on turn 2. Okay, turn 2 is finished. All the Russian armor has come on, as you can see here. They're moving up. The Hitler Youth, they've kind of skirted across the side here. They took a shot at the officer behind the train. Nothing happened. These guys went down because they got 10 shots from those guys over there in the tank. The sniper moved, but these guys, they took a pot shot at the armored car. Nothing happened. Still got some guys there. Over here, total bad news. These guys jumped out of that truck. These are his best guys. They flamethrowered the Volks Grenadiers, and that was it for them. These guys are on that side of the park. My guys are on this side of the park. And we got an officer here. I still have a lot of off-table stuff, but he's slowly moving up. And his sniper is still in action. And I've had to his Zis is kind of blocked now, which is good. And I had to move my I don't know if you can. Oh, bad camera. Okay, that's not going to work. I know what I'm going to do. Hold on a second. Here we go. I had to move that guy. That's why the roof's come off. I had to move that guy back because I did not want my mortar to be blind. So we're going to go into turn 3. We're going to take a bit of a break. And we're going to go into turn 3. But yeah, it's been a bloody one so far. So far the Russians are ahead 2-0. Soviets. 3-0, 2-0. Okay, we're gonna start turn 3, and we're gonna roll to see if the airstrike came in. Originally, it was on the Volks Grenadiers, but they've been killed, so we decided, okay, we'll just move it on to the Hanameg, just for shits and giggles. So we'll see if that comes in. So go ahead, dude, roll it. A 4. Here it comes. So we're gonna resolve, see what happens with the airplane. But here it comes. It's coming in. Okay, we've resolved the attack. It was a Sturmovik ground attack. However, luckily the flak on the Hanameg, this truck, and the 88 here, we got the 3 hits that we needed to disrupt it. So what we've decided to do, because we have been drinking, we're not really sure what to do. We decided to keep the pins where they are. Yeah, the attack didn't happen. So the Hanameg is still in action. And we're going to start turn 3. Here we go. This is the battlefield. As you can see, there's lots of stuff going on, and we'll see what happens. Here we go. Mein Leute sind Scheiße! This is terrible. Everything is going absolutely pear-shaped. This is very, very historically accurate. Okay, I've had like 9 beers. Basically, mid-turn 3, truck zips up. These guys jump out, blow that up. These Volkstrom guys shit the bed. They're a bunch of pins. These guys can't hit a tank that's literally 2 feet in front of them. The Russians now own this entire building. The only thing that's saving it is Arnold Schwarzenegger and his Panzerfaust, which are in here with that guy holding the Nazi flag. Other than that, things are not going well. My tank didn't come on. The Russians are coming down. They're coming down through the train tracks here. They're in the brewery. All I got is some Hitler Youth kids over here, and they ain't gonna do anything. There's a whole gang of professional murderers over there. This guy's piggybacking the whole thing. There's a whole bunch of guys hiding back here. This is very, very historically accurate. I reckon that it took the Russians 2 weeks to just go through Berlin, neighborhood by neighborhood, doing exactly this. So it's not going well. We'll see what happens, but I really need a long, like a Hail Mary, long end zone pass for this one. It's not going well. All right, here we go. We're still mid-turn 3. Let's see what happens. All right, it's the end of turn 3, and we've decided, or I've decided, that this is a 100% reenactment of probably what happened exactly. The Germans are getting their asses handed to them. The Russians have basically come streaming down here. These guys have come in. Half of the Luftwaffe Field Division was wiped out. Some shooting. Somehow they didn't fail their test. Over here, the truck carrying the Volkstrom, they got hit by machine guns and rocket launchers and Panzerfaust and stuff. They jumped out. They lost half their guys. They rallied, but then they got shot by another truck. I mean, it's a bloodbath for these guys. So things aren't going well for the Germans. Officers still here. Still have the snipers in there. These guys have come piled down in this truck. There's like 20 shots in this submachine gun squad here. These guys are here. The JS2 is over there. It's still in ambush. There's another tank over here. I've got like 5 children trying to hold the brewery against these guys here. There's officers that are going to face off over here. A lot of big stuff for me is not coming in, but let's take a look from the Russian side here. Things are going extremely well for these guys. This is the Soviet side, as you can see on turn 3. Everything's totally in control for these guys. Totally 100% going their way. Guys ready to storm buildings, trucks everywhere, machine guns and stuff. So yeah, we're going to go into turn 4. We'll probably play it tomorrow because it is kind of late. They still have their artillery and everything. So yeah, we're having fun. We're having drinks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's it. Turn 3. We're going to go on to turn 4, and let's see what happens. Okay, we just finished turn 4. It's the next day. As you can see, it's sunshine outside. And things have kind of turned a little bit. My Kriegsmarine guys, they came on an outflank. And they did pretty good. They hosed these guys in here, but then they took a casualty from the officer, who you can just see them over there behind that ladder, and they blew their green test, rolled a 1, and then I got extra pins. This kind of sucks. Over here, the HJ, they went down. Oh, I gotta take that dice out, actually. That's where that dice went. So they're there. That's going on. Over here, The officers are having a shootout. I've lost one guy. I'm on a pin. The mortar's still in action. My Charlemagne guys came in on this truck. They drove up. His inexperienced free unit was here. They got machine gunned, and they took some other shots at. He's got the armored car behind me now. I've had to bring the sniper out of the building. I put a pin on him here. I'm leaving this in ambush. We took out the KV-1 with Panzerfaust from the Volkssturm guys who moved into cover. They blew that up. They took some shots at these guys, didn't do anything. The King Tiger's on the board, so now we've got some Tiger Fears happening, which is okay for me. And then over here, we've had a bit of a shootout. These guys were in ambush. The Luftwaffe Field Division were in ambush. These guys came through the park, and I killed about 4 or 5 guys. But he's moving up all the smaller units. Schwarzenegger with the Shrek, he's still in the house here, but now there are Russians on the ground floor, which is kind of scary. The JS2 is just sitting there. The Zis is in ambush. He's still got a sniper. He still has a T-34 as well. So far from over for me, but yeah, we're and the motorbike came on too. He's immobilized now, and it's been a big shootout there in the center of the board. But a lot of fun. We're going to go into turn 5. And as for the Soviets, let's just take a look from their side of the board here real quick. Oh, sorry, dude. Yeah, this is what's going on for them. This is their lines. Mortars hunkered down that house. And the captain, he's shouting orders at the guys in the house. So the big push, I think, is going to be in the center here. He's got a lot of guys there. And I've got some guys, but we'll see what happens. All right, turn 5. All right, here we are. We are heading into turn 6. We just finished turn 5. These guys that were here, they've come in. They've taken out the Hitler, the Volkssturm guys. This is in a very, very vulnerable spot. The officers moved up. That bike MMG is still holding in there. The Charlemagne SS guys, they assaulted the unit that was there. They're doing okay. This building is now crawling with people. I have one unit in this top floor right here for the Germans. Those guys over there, they food barred. We actually had a couple food bars this turn. They food barred. My Hanomag food barred. And then over here, these Russian guys, they food barred as well. I'm just going to zip around. Over here, the Kriegsmarine guys are at 5 pins. It's pretty dire for these guys. The Hitler Youth are still holding out. The T-34 backed up to get away from the mortar spotter who was lurking in that building. The JS2 took a shot from the Panzer Shrek, which is my unit up here. And yeah, so everything is sort of in the middle. This guy wrecked away. The truck got blown up. So we're heading into turn 6. I still have about 16 dice left, and I think the Soviets have about the same, maybe 18 or so. We're almost evenly matched now, but they have a unit of reinforcements coming on, so that could really tip the balance. So, all right, yeah, we're gonna head into turn 6 and see how it goes. Turn 6, we're going into turn 7. We'll start over here real quick. The officer that was at that brick wall, he was light mortared from those guys over there hiding behind that broken up T-34. The AT rifle came forward and put a pin on the Hanomag. These guys, they shot at these guys. They didn't do much, but the Hanomag did take out the 4 or 5 Russian guys that were over there. So bad news for me. The Tiger and the 88 fluffed their rolls on just hitting the buildings. I needed 3s or something. Yeah, I needed 3s and I rolled 2s. I rolled 2 2s. These guys, they were going to assault here, but they went down instead. The MMG bike is still holding out. It's having a big gun battle with that truck over there. The JS2 over here is in ambush. He's waiting. The sniper went back on the top of the building. Over here, reinforcements have arrived for the Russians. They're moving into the brewery. The Kriegsmarine, who came on and did a lot of damage when they first showed up, are almost pinned out. And the nurse is the medic has moved up in the middle of these 2 units here to negate any shooting. My lone officer, he's hiding down there. But and the Russians are redeploying all their heavy equipment in the back. So we're going to go into turn 7. This looks like it's going to be the final turn because we've been at this for quite a while. So, all right, let's do turn 7 and see what happens. And that is game. Okay, so the Soviets got the objective here. They killed the Kriegsmarine guys who were here. Still got the medic. The medic and the Hitler Youth kids are there. We've in the back here. We've got my lone officer guy. The T-34s come on. In the middle here, the JS2 didn't fire. It was on ambush. Over here, some excitement. The Soviets came out of the ruins here and took out the 88 crew. They now have the gun, so I guess that's, you know, pretty substantial. These guys took a pot shot at these guys. The sniper went back into this building and took out the sniper over there. Over here, the Russians that were in here were blown up by the King Tiger tank firing point blank into the building. Over here, some desperation by the Luftwaffe Field Division. They hopped the fence, attacked the anti-tank rifle that was here in hand-to-hand, ran into the forest, but then were basically machine gunned to death by these guys over here. The SS Charlemagne guys, they've got 2 pins, but they had to go down because they got a direct hit from the Zis over there. But they survived the game. So we're going to come back. We're going to see how many dice we each scored against each other, then objectives and any of the other special stuff. So yeah, let's get to the end of the game here. Okay, here's the final score. So the Germans, they scored 11 points here, took 11 dice, and they killed 2 of the officers, which were bonus points. So they got +2 on each. So that's 4. They got 15 points. The Soviets took out 10 dice, so they've got 10 points there. They took out 1 officer, which gives them 12, and they also have 2 of the objectives. They have this objective here in the center, and they have the objective over here in the brewery. So they're up to 18 points. So it's 18 to 15 for the Soviets. We're going to do something, man of the match and Phoebe of the match on my side. My men of the match, I got to take Charlemagne here. 4 guys were still left. They went on a real tear. They started in this part of the game, and then they ran across, killed some guys, went into the building, and they were still alive at the end of the game, even, you know, surviving direct mortar hits and things like that. The Phoebe of the match, the worst unit, it was my Volksgrenadier nuns. They got out of their Hanomag. They had 23 shots, needing 5s, and they fluffed it and then died the next turn from a flamethrower shot. So that's my crappiest unit. These are my best guys. What about you guys? Who are your best guys and who are your worst guys?
Well, they're all regular dudes, but the best were the guys that took up the objective here and held it in the brewery.
Okay.
And the worst guys were over in the park.
Okay. Yeah, those guys in the park, they did nothing.
Yeah, coming and going, like
picking mushrooms and
they
getting killed.
looking for dirty magazines in the woods. Things
They
like
went
that.
up and actually they foobarred, so they run
That's
away.
right. They ran away.
And then they were machine gunned down.
Actually, that's a good point because the guys over there in the brewery, they foobarred as well, but then they came back.
They came back.
And they took the objective. So, all right, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching it. So, yeah, that was it. That was the suburbs of Berlin, April 16th, 1945. Hopefully, when I get more scenery done, we can do a bigger, more urbanized battle. So, thanks for watching. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.